Just give me 1 second, y'all. I'm just sharing this real quick. I'm gonna be right with you. Just give me 1 second. Out to everybody. My numbers is down this month. Let me just start this, get this out the way or whatever. It's gonna be a little hard for y'all to see me or whatever, but I'm gonna try to keep it as close as I can to my face without it being too distorted and anything like that. So listen, right? This is the thing. I go on a lot of different websites and things like that, and I check out apps, whatever you want to say. I go on a lot of them. I check out what's going on, how it's going on, blah, 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 because I like to keep informed of what people are saying, what people are talking about, whatever, right? And so one of the things that I see a lot of times is I see almost people recruiting people for racism. Now, this don't have no particular angle either, because it goes in a lot of different factions. And let me tell you what I mean. When I'm on certain websites, and I find it's more prominent with Facebook, I breeze through there. I don't actively use it or nothing like that, but I breeze through there to see what's going on. And I breeze through X, and I breeze through a couple other joints. I ain't gonna say in particular. But when I go through these different websites, what I find out is there's always a partition of 1 or 2 characters, the most, well, 3 characters actually. It's usually Latinos, it's usually Black Americans, white Americans, and then this more recently Middle Eastern and Asian people. And they say some of the most heinous things about other races, even some people that we would consider immigrant or whatever you want to call. Now, one of the demonstrations that I've seen from this the most is what you see where you call the FBA versus the immigrants, or the tether crowd, if they want to call it, or whatever, which I found incredibly funny, because I'm like, well, most Black Americans are mixed with white. You know what I mean? The majority of them, I think 80% of them. So there's no purity here as far as you're talking about with race or anything when it's concerned with them. But yet still, I understand. You have built this country. You have sacrificed a lot of whatever the case may be. But you got one crowd that does that, right? Then you separately got a new crowd that's spawning up, and that's the one I want to particularly talk about. Because even though the Black Americans, they may get on and they're proudful and they talk about what they're talking about, one thing they don't do is they don't make up situations that I can see in a degree where it will put somebody in danger based off a ideology or a narrative that someone created. Please hear me out, because you're going to see more of this, I'm predicting. So when I go on X specifically, and a lot of people don't understand this, Diddy actually invested money in X's purchase, or formerly Twitter. A lot of people don't know that. That's why I want to make sure y'all knew that. He invested money in this. And I remember a particular video where you had, and the reason I'm using Diddy is, and they were meeting with Elon Musk. I remember Elon Musk coming to come check out Kanye West at his concert. Elon Musk has been around a lot of knuckles. But what a lot of people don't know is Elon Musk's daddy is a stone cold South African old school racist. So I'm talking about old school racist. What are you talking about? Them niggas there, them niggas over there. What about them? That type of racist. Now, if you don't believe me, look up his father. You'll see for yourself. I don't have to make this up. I don't think this was benevolence to Diddy. I don't think this was benevolence if anybody else, Rick Ross or French or whoever might have put in their chips and dips in this purchase of what was formerly Twitter at the time. But this is the truth. Just as a recent, to give you an example, on CNN, Elon Musk's father did an interview. And in that interview, they had, it became controversial, the clip anyway. They talked about the sovereignty of Black Americans and sovereignty of Black Africans or whatever. And they said, of course they couldn't. They couldn't function on their own. What would they do without us? This is his daddy talking. What would they do without us? Oh, that's old F.W. de Klerk racist motherfucker right there. Y'all don't know about that. Look up F.W. de Klerk and you understand what I'm talking about. That British fuck. Anyway, long story short, they're white South Africans. They've been there for a long time. They come under the British, some of them come under the Germans, some of them come under the Portuguese, but they've been Europeans in Africa for a very long time. So, with that being said, it doesn't surprise me when I see these stark races that are on X nowadays, that are also on numerous other different apps. Now, this is the thing. They're not coattailed to just whites. I'll say that again, it's not coattailed to just whites. This is the thing I see. But with the white ones, there's been some clever ingenuity, very clever ingenuity. And let me explain. With the white posts that I see, it's almost like it's a recruitment tool. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let me explain to you what I mean. Before, they've always used recruitment online to pitch to people a certain idea or whatever. Since the invention of the internet, it's been heavily used the way it's been used. But this is the first time that I've now seen a collective of people that purposely go and edit videos that have already been edited and then throw a trope or a tag on top of it as a narrative and tell people this is what it is. Now, what I'm seeing is, if it was just 5 or 6 people, whatever. There are hundreds of thousands of people that are jumping online to believe in these stories. I'll give you an example. I had the other day watched a post, because I go out to some of them. I talk about them. I engage in the conversation. They think I'm out of my mind, but I nail them in the head every time, and it blows their mind. I live around whites. What are you talking about? Lived around whites all my entire damn life, damn near. So this is the thing. These guys who are online to do this and participate in this type of behavior, one thing I've noticed is they'll get a banshee of people behind them. Now, these people that come behind them, most of the time, they're low educated, and most of them are poor. Yes, poor whites exist. There's a lot more of them than rich whites. Even if you're in debt, you're a poor white. I've lived in this state my whole entire life, and I've seen many of them come and go. Now, there's no offense to anybody, my white friends, or anything like that, but you know what the hell I'm talking about. There's a whole bunch of people out here in the state of Connecticut. It's 5 seconds off of losing their home, especially after the pandemic. You'll get these troops of people to get in these lines, and what they'll do is they'll take a video, right? And say the video could be old, the video could be new, or whatever the case may be. On top of it, they'll add their own narrative under the video, but also adding on to that, they'll clip the video. So the original video that stood doesn't look like that. It starts 3 to 4 seconds into the video and how it actually stands. So what you have is, and I'll give you a perfect example. They had a video up of this black man that was in a restaurant somewhere in the Midwest, and this is recent, and he's arguing and getting mad and flustered. He's his employee of this restaurant. He's getting mad and getting flustered because there's this one white gentleman in there that, for some reason or another, like to stare at little girls. Now, this is the truth. Now, this wasn't the first time this man had been called out, because he'd been called out previously by a white man, which the guy says in the video. Now, this black gentleman was sitting there trying to keep him off of him. Oh, don't bother him. He's sitting there looking at little girls. They didn't take this man seriously because he was black, but he was made to look like a villain. Now, follow with me. This video was clipped in a way, and a narrative was behind the video, and it said, black man goes off on white man in restaurant for no reason. For no reason. This guy's in there turning their kids. This is the caption they put. Now, what I'm going to start doing is, I'm going to start putting up some of these, links, or at the very least, I'm going to start putting out where y'all can find this stuff at, because I think it's very important you go check it out. What they're doing is, a lot of people are now, and I'm talking about multiple different cultures, backgrounds, or whatever, they're using these apps, per se, to now create narratives around stories that don't exist. Now, one of the narratives that you've seen it, they do it with black folks, they do it with Spanish folks, they do it with white folks, they do it with the tether crowds or whatever. This is why I told you this type of engagement is dangerous, because what you do is you elect people to do other things. This is the battleground for copying people now. So if one person sees one person do it, all of them do it. I'll give you an example. Pop the balloon to find love. You got about 30 different renditions of that now. See what I'm saying? So when they see this behavior, they copy this behavior. Now, people will think it's in the giggles and the key, or whatever, and I hear you. And I keep trying to tell y'all got to stop he about everything every 5 minutes. Everything ain't funny, because some things have a longevity process to them that could sit for a long time. Now, when the case of this one, I'll give you another example. There was another guy caught the other day, did the exact same thing. This video was old. This video had to be from like 2019, 20, somewhere around there. The guy cleverly edited the video and then put a narrative on top of it and then fed it to everybody. Now, as I was reading the narrative, as I was reading the comments, because that's what the key is, every last one of these guys that were in there, these were poor white folks, all right? No offense to any of my white friends, but these were poor white people. They were in there, yeah, them niggas. I even got called a nigga in the reply, which didn't bother me. I was just like, yo, you ain't even got the nerve to put your face and name. I ain't scared of you. Why would I be scared of you? I ain't scared of nobody that's a phantom or a lie. But this is the way a lot of these guys do, and they do it so you don't tie them back to their job. That's what I'm starting to figure out. A lot of these people, let's say for example, some of these people that are online and they're giving these racist qualms and tropes and everything like that, say if they work at your local hospital, say if they work at your local fire department, say if they work at your local ambulance. This is somebody that's online and they're telling how they really feel inside, outside of the wage perimeter. You understand what I'm saying? Because very well, you can't be at your job and say too much. So what they do is they don't put their real names. They don't put, I'm trying to tell you, anybody that call you a nigga online, 9 times out of 10, I say not even 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, they usually got a hidden profile with no name. Been there for 13, 14 years or whatever. You'll call them a bot. But in reality, there's really some people behind these shits. Now, another thing that I see when I look at these little posts that are racist or create these narratives or whatever, including for Latinos riding bicycles, they'll say, oh, well, the Latinos, I hope ICE comes and picks them up and the blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, why would you say that when you are a successful person? No, this is not a successful person. This is somebody that's poor. This is somebody that ain't got a lot going on. So a lot of times when you're online and you hear these people talking in these little groups and things like that, please be assured this is somebody that ain't made it a lot. And usually they're way older. I'm talking about like I've caught 60-year-old men on here talking about 20, 30, and 40-year-olds. Like, you done lived your life. Why you on here rushing on people that are defenseless for the most part? You know what I'm saying? But this is some of these people. I've been called everything in the book by some of these groups that are in these white circles that seem to be very fixed on 3 things. One, they want to be fixed on black people commit all the crimes, which is not the truth. Now, it might have been one time you could have took these demographics and rolled with them a little bit, but that ain't the truth as the past 10 years. And the key thing is, a lot of white men know this. You know it, but you will pitch it even further for your PR campaigns, because that's what they really are, the PR campaigns, racist PR campaigns. They'll push these narratives online because of pure simple fact, they have to reinforce this ideology. If they don't reinforce this ideology to the immigrants, they've done this before, trust me. If they don't raise, I'm half of immigrants, so trust me, I know. If they don't push this ideology to immigrants and get other immigrants to join in with them, then it becomes a real big problem because now you lose control of them. You lose control of them, and you have to have control of them the next 30 to 40 years. You have to, and that's what they're planning on, and I know it. And a lot of other immigrants know it too, but this hear me. You get a whole bunch of people from another country, and you get them to sit down and you say, hey, stay away from these people. Yes, you do. Shut the fuck up. Yes, you do. Yes, they do it right here in my state in Connecticut. I see Asian kids that look like they just got off the boat, Spanish kids that look like they just got off the boat, and they're walking with some blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid, and he's teaching them. It's very subliminal. It's very, how can I say it? It's very subliminal the way they etch it in. There's a lot of reverse psychology that goes into it as well, but they basically train them like a puppy. Stay away from those people. They're bad. Well, 9 times out of 10, and a lot of times, especially in this state, that black kid that he's talking about stay away from, they're more educated than him. They got a better life than him. They grew up better than him. I'm talking about the white kid. You'll see that a lot of times out here in Connecticut. Trust me on that one. Diana Ross lives out here in my immediate area. I'm dead serious. Her state's out here. You think most of the white kids out here grew up like Diana Ross and her kids? Get the fuck out of here. You think most of the people out here grew up like Eartha Kitt and was living like Eartha Kitt because she died out here? They wasn't living like Katharine Hepburn in her biggest state. They wasn't living like most of the white people out here wasn't living like Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart's from here. Most of the white people out here ain't living like Eric LaSalle. Remember him? He was a Jerry Curl king on Coming to America. He's from Bridgeport. I can keep going. David Letterman. You think most people out here in Connecticut is living like David Letterman? No. What you've got now is the same thing they did is sprawled from the movie Gangs of New York. You had the Italians and the Irish going at it at one point. They were saying the same thing. Oh, they're coming in, they're going to take all the jobs. And there's at one point in the argument, then it's reinforcing belief systems that you know can currently work for you generation after generation after generation, implementing reverse psychology, making somebody be fearful when they don't need to be fearful. What you're very fearful of is the same thing you did when you had the British West Indian Tea Company. You told you told the East Indians that were on the boats and were employed by those British, don't talk to any of the niggers when you get here on the island. You're here to trade and leave. That's what they used to tell them. You don't believe me? Ask any Jamaican, West Indian. Matter of fact, go ask upon them and I'll shine in them. You know how to rap, my boy. See? Go ask him. Link up with him. He'll tell you what to deal with. Oh, these motherfuckers are dead. The Willie Lynch letter. That thing that y'all talking about is a set of directives how to apply reverse psychology. It's reverse psychology. In a simple form of reverse psychology that motherfuckers fall for every fucking decade, including the whites. See, it was a group of white people that agreed with the Reverend Jim Jones, all the way to the end where he made them drink cyanide-laced Kool-Aid. It was a group of white individuals that followed Heaven's Gate, all the way until they duplicated the same thing Jim Jones did now only 10, 15 years later and made them drink cyanide-laced Kool-Aid. What did he say at the time? The aliens are coming to pick us up. They're going to take us on a mothership. You got to drink the cyanide-laced Kool-Aid. David Koresh of the Branch Davidians down in Texas, he burnt his church to the ground with his followers inside of it. Why? He said, if we burn this, we're going to go to heaven. There have always been people like this throughout history. And if you're talking about blacks, if you're talking about whites, I can name you some Spanish people. There was a reverend down in Mexico somewhere that was doing the same thing. Took all his parishioners for hundreds of thousands of dollars, years after years after years after years after years. Finally, the FBI, they caught up with him because he was in New Mexico. That's the only reason. If he was in Mexico, they would have never been able to touch him. You always get people like this. They come along and they start little groups and cults and things like that to get people to follow them. But the difference is now this shit is going digital. So now you got churches digitally online. You got people that have certain infractions of thinking forms or whatever, usually that are not condescending with inclusion. Even though some of these people will, if you go on their pages, because I go visit a lot of the pages of the motherfuckers that reply to me about shit like this, these racist motherfuckers, and I always find out some common things. Number one, they ain't very successful. Number two, they always a little bit older. Number three, they always got some type of contentment with their life. Their life didn't go the way that they wanted it to or whatever. I don't know, bitch, work harder. I had to work harder. You understand? So you ask me, why do I say the Trump influences? Well, I say Trump may have influenced it unbeknownst to himself. I don't think Trump's a racist. I've seen Trump do shit for niggas. You understand what I'm saying? Including getting niggas out of jail. But Trump's stuck in the hard point because he's also got to satisfy white folks. Now, some of these white people that are from these conservative states, because I live in a liberal state, but some of these white folks, black folks, and other folks alike that are from these conservative states are racist. They're very racist. White people know they're racist. And they'll talk amongst each other and say they're racist, and some of them will talk right in front of you and think you can't pick up what they're saying. Now, I'm not into subliminals. I talk very direct. And one thing I can't stand is I can't stand a racist that hides shit. Don't hide and create narratives on the X. So I will say some of the racists that follow Trump, yeah, they've been beckoned the cause to go out here and push more racism towards people, but via online. And the conduit is someone named by the name of Elon Musk, whose father is an avid racist. He doesn't hide it. This South African man was clipped on CNN, I think maybe a year and a half ago it was. And in that clip, they said, well, what do you think about the Africans coming back and trying to rule, after FW de Klerk and everything like that? He said, no, what would they do without us? They need us. This is what he said. This is a man that's probably about 75, 76 years old. He's never going to change. He's never going to change people like this. And you shouldn't want to change people like this. But my point goes back again. 2 black men invested in Elon Musk's purchase of X, which were Diddy and another gentleman, which I'm not going to mention because I don't think he wants to be aligned with that. But Diddy was definitely one of them. Now, if you want to, you can go look it up for yourself. Now, the problem I have is, did y'all trick Diddy? Because that sounds like it. That sound like you tricked Puff. It sounds like, this is what it sounds like to me. It sounds like Elon Musk needed some new purchasing power at the time. And whatever his endeavor was that he wanted to get involved in at the time or whatever, he extended out to not only Kanye West, he extended out to not only Diddy, who Diddy later on invested in X. Guys can go look these records up for yourself, the purchase of it. So I'm saying, did you hide the whole time who your daddy was? Did you hide the whole time how you feel inside? Because if you go on Elon Musk's page on X, oh, you'll find some heavily racist shit out Elon Musk's mouth. And he'll compliment it and say, well, you know what? I'm saying this because everybody should have, free speech is limited. Just like victimhood is limited. You can only play that victim shit with me for so much. People, how they say it in, what's that movie called? Friday Part 3. That victim shit is way overrated. I'm not talking about victimhood here. I'm talking about preventing domestic terrorists. You're reading me wrong. I don't give a fuck if you like me. I say it all the time. I don't give a fuck if you like me. If you don't like me, what is it my business to convince you to like me? Now, my daddy said that. My uncles have said that. They think like that, and they're military men. And a whole host of other motherfuckers that I grew up around, because I didn't grow up around no trash men. I grew up around men that were military men, that were Shriners and shit like that. It was my granddaddy and all them from Philly, and the ones from Jersey, and the people and our peoples in Queens. Those were the street niggas. Hey, my granddaddy would shoot you on sight and not ask two questions. Did it and did time for it, and would not beckon twice about it. You understand? And my grandfather also had something with him, and I'm not gonna, this ain't got to. He at that time, when he was growing up, you got to understand that he wasn't scared of white men at all. That's one of the things even white men remember about him. He wasn't scared of white men. Now, at the time, a lot of African Americans justifiably was scared of white men and what could happen to them, but my grandfather wasn't at all. At all. It's hard to scare them niggas, Philly niggas. I ain't been down to Mechanicsburg or Philly, down to shout out to Germantown, all that. I ain't been down there in years, but you know what I'm saying? That's where my grandfather's from. That's a fact. Now, I'll say this. Do I think you can halt this type of shit pulling up with this racist banter that's going on and this socialist banter that's going on? Because a lot of it's socialist. I got to also circumnavigate to Kanye West's recent win. Kanye winning on the stage, a lot of people don't understand, brought out a lot of different people. Let me elaborate. First of all, a lot of people didn't think Kanye could come back. I knew Kanye could come back. Only thing he had to do was just take a minute off. But Kanye could come back, and Kanye proved that he could come back. Now you're going to find something else that's going to happen in a minute here. When Puff gets released, Puff's going to be able to come back. So all you guys are asking yourself, well, how did you know that? How could you speculate that or whatever? Well, the money shows it. The ticket sales show it. He filled out an arena or whatever, and he had a damn globe on the stage. He bought out Lauryn Hill. And Lauryn Hill's always generally late to everything. So, and guys, make sure y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button for me. Make sure you hit the like button. I noticed that when Kanye won, and I'm going to say that very elaborately, when he won this recently, one of the things I saw was the uptick, why everybody started talking. And then I saw the situation over in England where his concert got pulled and everything like that or whatever. Thank you. Hit that like button, y'all. I saw the situation over in England where they killed his concert and everything like that. And I said to myself, all right, I respect that. You know what I mean? Maybe some people universally don't feel what Kanye was saying. I get it. But the guy went and talked to a rabbi in Jerusalem. And I'm going to put that clip back up again or whatever. Now, that might not mean nothing to you. But if it's all right for the rabbi, it should be all right for everybody else. And the rabbi gave his blessing. And then if you take in context that so many of you guys will be online talking about, well, you got to believe in God. You got to believe in God. God this, God that, God this. Generally speaking, most people don't call on God unless they need him. Most people don't call on God unless they need him. So spare me that shit. People will be online gossiping about people, talking down on people, making fun of people, making up narratives of people. And these same people will turn around later on and say, God is with me. Don't speak God's name. It's blasphemous for you to speak God's name and you were involved in drama and trauma on a daily basis. Right here, facilitated online. Doesn't make sense. God's not involved in that. The devil is. God doesn't have nothing to do with that. The devil does. And if you say anything other than that, I can point you out to 15 different scriptures in the Bible that'll say, hey, even how myself is involved in debauchery. You understand what I'm saying? To a certain degree, I'm here. It's the devil's playground right here. Don't you think anything less? Don't you think anything less? Kanye filled out them seats, and they wasn't looking for. Mario was the man sucker. I don't know what that means, and I don't know what put scar. Yeah, we don't do little kid antics over here. Yeah, we don't do little kid antics over here. We don't do little kid antics over here. For real. It's too many men online. There's too many men online nowadays that be doing unnecessary shit. And that's why I said, how you interrupting this conversation? This is a conversation that need to be had. Now, like I said, Kanye winning that concert and bringing it back made a lot of people upset. And I saw these people that were upset online, a lot of them. And the same thing, all of them had something racist to say. They was in little groups. And then where somebody would comment, there would be another chain. This all took place on Elon Musk's ex. You used to like Kanye. You came to Kanye's concert, remember for Donda? That was you. You used to like Kanye. Kanye was your man. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. He remembered how daddy was over there in South Africa. That's what happened with Elon Musk. And he started reading out the same banter that your racist daddy was spitting out lately on your ex, your personal ex. I'm not making anything up. Not making anything up. You go look at some of the racist shit that Elon Musk has said. He tries to hide it behind. See, a lot of them try to hide it behind criticism. A lot of them try to hide it behind free speech. That's a new one now. I have free speech, so I can say what I... No, you can't say certain shit. Certain shit is protected that you can't say. Like, I can't go on stage, and this is why Kanye, and Kanye is an example to prove this. I can't go on TV. I can't go on and walk on somebody's, even their social media, and say something against a certain protected group. Black Americans are also a protected group. African Americans are a protected group, however one you want to see it, or whatever. There are laws improvised and things like that to protect them against racial crimes, things like that, or whatever. So they are a protected group. And that doesn't mean that they supersede or they're better than anybody either. It just means what it means. So if you're saying one protected group deserves to be acknowledged, one protected group deserves to be a fiasco put upon the world, and it's not even good enough when you go apologize. But the first thing you'll tell somebody black when something goes down, and to prove my point, I'll give you an example. One time, C. Henry Louis Gates, who is one of the doctrines and one of the professionals right up the block here in Massachusetts for DNA research, all that 21andMe stuff or whatever, that comes from a black man. All that stuff comes from a black man. He is the pioneer in that DNA analysis stuff, and they don't give him enough credit for it. But anyway, he later partnered up with Oprah Winfrey, did a couple shows called Black in America, Black in the Caribbean, etc., etc. If you never checked them out, they're right here on this app. You can go check them out for yourself. Anyway, I remember when they called the police on him for going into his own house, and at the time, Barack Obama was the president. Anybody remember that? I remember that. And they said, you know what would be a perfect idea if you all sit down and have a couple of, what was it, a beer or something like that together? And I laughed my ass off when I saw that. I said, now see, that's brown nosing at its best. See, whenever you put yourself in this country in a position of brown nosing, you're always going to fall flat on your ass. I'm going to tell you why. People have seen this time and time again. When you try to confer yourself and assimilate to people's liking, what you'll find is sooner or later, as time progresses, they're going to have less and less respect for you. And that disrespect will continue over and over and get worse and worse and worse to the point where you almost blow your mind. Because you're like, yo, I can't believe it. I saw the other day a video, and it was a man, he had to be at least 65, 60, he was retirement age, black man. And this Latin man came up on him and said, I don't know what the problem was there, but they said, we want him to leave the Amazon plant, and he won't leave. He said he's working. So they called the police on him, the 60-something plus year old man. And really what it was he couldn't believe that his life was coming to its last years. Now, you got to listen to this. It's very important you know this. His life was coming to his last turn, entering his last turn stage, and he hadn't accomplished what his dreams were originally. You see? When you start putting yourself in a position where you're subservient to people, that's what happens. Now, a lot of y'all say, well, you sit around and talk about Puff all the time because Puff was offering millions. I'm talking about you guys that go and kiss ass for $21 an hour. That's the difference. This man was 60-something years old on a processing plant at 65. At 60, even if you take the game back 20 years ago, right? So it's 20 years ago, that's 2005, that would have put him at 45. If you take the game back to 2000, that would have put him at 40 years old. Anytime between those ages of 40 through 60, you better make your decisions. You better make your decisions. That's why I don't give a fuck about a motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? Fuck what somebody think. Fuck trying to fit in. And that's where a lot of y'all are at now. You do it via the internet, and the internet almost forces y'all to do it. When you come online, you got to compare yourself to other people. You got to argue with other people because of their ideas. There's way too many people out here with their own set of ideas that don't match up to reality in the world. And y'all sit around and y'all convey these stupid ideas most of the time. Meanwhile, there's bombs going off. There's fucking wars being fought or whatever. And the best example y'all got, who shot Offset? Who shot Offset? Best example y'all got is, let's do deep dives into what really happened with Offset. Let's do deep dives. The Gucci man snitch or not? Kashi 6ix9ine been out here stop snitching and snitching for motherfucking, 10 years now. Ain't a motherfucker ever said anything. This nigga was walking through Harlem handing out $100 bills. See what I mean? But y'all worried about Gucci. There's always an emphasis put on top of each one, depending on what genre they're from, depending on what they represent, depending on if they're rap, hip-hop, Latin, whatever. They did the same shit with Bad Bunny. I kept trying to tell y'all that. I said everything they said about Bad Bunny was on some racist shit, but still, niggas is running around. I'm moving out the rain, y'all. It's raining a little bit. Still, motherfuckers are sitting around talking about, yeah, I'm white too. No, you're not. Light-skinned Latinos get on my nerves with that shit. I'm white, you're not white. And stop thinking you are. If you was white, you would have the same rights as whites, and they wouldn't be at the border trying to deport you up out of here. They wouldn't be sending ICE agents up after you. Better get in tune with shit. Get in tune real quick. Entonces, sabes, toda la mente ahí. Entonces, sabes, por la gente latino ahí. Huh? So, I just moved over here, y'all. It's raining out a little bit. Where am I at with it? Well, we can't stop racists. You're never going to stop a racist. A racist is going to be a racist, whether they're black, white, polka dot, whatever the hell. A racist is going to be a racist. So you're never going to stop it. But what we can do is start putting some emphasis on the internet and how it's utilized. Now, Trump, Elon is, let's just say, still cool with you. Is that fair? I need you to call over there and tell Bubby, contact him or whatever. Maybe get Cash to talk to him. Matter of fact, get Cash to talk to him. There's some motherfuckers that are over there on that motherfucker that are your future domestic terrorists. Don't make no doubt about it. I've heard people on there in these same groups that just happen to be white. There's some Latinos to chime in and some others sitting over there talking about, yeah, you know what? We ought to try to take him out for a third or fourth time. I'd do it if I had the opportunity. These are motherfuckers online talking this shit with a free account and ain't paying for shit. That's why I said it's a good idea. Start charging these motherfuckers $25 a month to use your shit. Like, you can view it for free. But if you want to stream and all that shit, it's $25 a month. You'll get rid of all these motherfuckers. You want to comment, it's $10 a month. There's already some information of that already on X. On X, if you pay an extra, what is it? $7, you can use more characters versus the characters that you're allowed to use already. So there's already something to this. But what we're getting now is we're getting poor white trash or unaccomplished white men. And trust me, I know about unaccomplished white men. I've lived in this state for a very long time. There's a whole bunch of unaccomplished white men out here. That's what they are. But we gotta make up shit about it. Hey, what's going on? Unaccomplished white men. Unaccomplished white men in this country started the Night Riders. Anybody remember them? That's the precursor to the Ku Klux Klan. The night rider's job was to go and capture all the slaves now that all the free labor was gone and the Emancipation Proclamation had been signed. We need to round up some niggas and bring them back out here. You need an example of this? Watch the movie 12 Years of a Slave and the story of Solomon Northrop, his biography from right here in upstate New York. Oh, don't you make no mistake about it. This country has always been based in racism. Don't worry about that. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to use the immigrants and revert motherfuckers back to 17 fucking something. Nah, I can't have that happen. And so I thought up this clever little plan. I said, well, you know what? Saying, oh, we got to be proud, and what about the history of this and that, that shit don't work. Niggas have tried that before. Been trying that for 30, 40 years. Well, we were kings first, and blah, 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 blah. They don't give a fuck about that shit. They laugh at that shit. So what you got to do is you got to put them in a position for who they truly are. And the way you put them in a position for who they truly are is you start calling out some of these potential domestic terrorists that are online. Now, some of these guys that are online, guys, make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Some of these guys that are online, that are in these little groups or whatever, whether the group be Latin, whether the group be white, whether the group be whatever, they're a danger to America. I'm calling out all of them. I don't mean anybody specific, just white people, whatever. I'm talking about there's black ones that do it too. I've seen a lot of black people. Hold on 1 second. I've seen a lot of black people online talking about let's overthrow the government and blah, 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 blah. They ain't got a tank at a hospital. Folks get hurt. Ain't got no provisions to feed motherfuckers, to cut off food. You need an example of that. When Trump had that they had the government freeze and they cut off food stamps for a minute. Niggas was talking about, yo, we gonna have to hit up the grocery store and start stealing. These are grown ass men saying this. Grown ass men, let that sit in for a minute. And then myself, and I think maybe 2 or 3 other bloggers were the only ones bringing it up. Oh, okay, this is what we need to do. You go right here on my page, it's still here. I was the only one speaking up for it, but yet still I have motherfuckers coming here and tell people, don't donate to them, don't support them. If you go through the track record of my videos, you'll see I very much, I think more than a lot of other people, have encouraged black people to be like, yo, listen, this is what you need to do. I grew up around these people. The methods that you're using, they're not working. If you need an example of that, just look back. 10 years ago, you were talking the same shit. 15 years ago, you were talking the same shit. 20 years ago, you were talking the same shit. But what we got to do in the manifestation of that, they don't care about that shit. That shit is a joke to them. I mean, somebody needs to tell y'all that. Now, how do you get at them? You get at them through simply doing the same shit that they do to you. What is that? You improvise a plan, not of retaliation, because when you do things of retaliation and being vindictive, it always goes away, it always goes wrong. No. You sit with the politics and sit with the examples of what's been presented to you. There's a group of people that are trying to make black men look like they're perverts. Other than so, the fact remains this. Most sexual assaulters in the United States are white men. And I'm going to prove it to you right here. I'm going to pull something up for y'all. Maybe it'll show on the screen, maybe it won't. But I want to show y'all this. 57% of sexual assaults are committed by white men. Yes, you heard me correct. 57% of sexual assaults are committed by white men. There we go right there. I didn't think y'all could see that. Y'all could see that pretty damn good. And it reads out, let me just move this down. Yep. White statistics show a majority of sexual assault arrests are white men. Studies suggest sexual assault rates among women are high in racial lines. High-profile cases include allegations against Olympian Shaun White and actor Percy Hines. Now, this is the demographics right here. The Department of Justice reports of sexual violence perpetrators, 57% of them are white, only 27% of them are black, and mind you, only 15% of the population in the United States is black American. 62% of the population in America is white America. So that means basically you're talking about for every 5 to 4 white sexual predators, there's 1 black predator. Can't make this shit up. I just thought I'd share that with you. I thought that was an example of something that needed to be. You understand? And if you need to see those demographics later, feel free to reach out to me. I'll provide them. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? You use these little strings to make yourself look innocent, because that's part of the PR campaign. I helped sell records for 17, almost 20 years. I know what the fuck when a motherfucker got a PR campaign. Who the fuck do you think you fooling? And this PR campaign, it affects me. It'll affect my son if I have a son. It affects my little cousins. It affects my nephew. So that's what I'm speaking up for. It has nothing to fucking do with y'all. I know for the better part of the measure, without being a dummy, that most African Americans don't like the person that I am. And that's okay, I don't give a shit. But my point is, that don't mean I can't stick up for you motherfuckers either. Because sometimes it boils down simply to, you just don't get it. Sometimes it's simple. You just don't get it. And that's okay. There was a lot of things I didn't get once upon a time either. But sooner or later, what happens is, you'll start to get it. And as time progresses on and you start reflecting, you're going to see, you know what, he does have a point. We're reflecting back and going back to the same shit we were talking about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. It's the same shit. You remember this show? Who's heard this one right here? We got to learn to stick together. How many times have y'all said that shit? Anybody in the chat room? How many times you heard that one? Black people need to learn how to stick together. How many times you heard that trope right there? Only to find out what? They say it another 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later. So when the fuck are y'all gonna start doing that? Here's the second one. These white folks, they holding us back. Okay, so how come you're not improvising instead of hopping online and telling people, hey, don't donate to this person. We got to tear this store down that employs hundreds of people, blah, 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 blah. Why are y'all reinforcing that? What you motherfuckers are doing is you're walking your way back into poverty, and old Massa and them, they fucking allowing you to do it. Go ahead and talk about your own. That's right, tear down that nigga right there. We've been trying to get him for 15, 20 years. We couldn't do it because we're white. So let the niggas do it. And these motherfuckers don't want no justice. The majority of y'all just want to enjoy the moment of seeing a motherfucker fall flat on his ass without looking at the future benefits, the future loss of benefits that hells are to all y'all. For example, you want to be a star? If you want to be a star, how are you going to be a star now? If one of the major guys that was hiring black people, you get him fired. That person, if they employ, let's say even 10 people, right? That's 10 people right there that are black. They don't have to worry about employment. Now, if you help get that black person fired, or you help get that Latin person fired that employs those people, where does that put you economically? It puts you behind, and all the motherfuckers that are coming into the economy that are doing the exact opposite. They're opening a bodega here, they're opening a bodega there, they're hiring a cousin, a nephew, niece. They got 17 people staying in the fucking house. Yo soy la cubano, la marero. Yo saben, no, claro que sí. En la casa para toda la familia, los amigos, entonces saben, un 6, 8, entonces saben. Para la renta es, en el momento, yo tienen toda chavo por la casa. Esa es diferente. En las personas aquí, tú tienes chavo por la casa, tú tienes chavo por la casa, tú tienes, entonces sabes, la historia. And niggas don't understand that, so that's what I'm trying to put y'all niggas on, man. They playing y'all like a chess piece right now. And they doing it through these vlogs. I am convinced of that shit. These vlogs and these apps, I think more so the utilization came in a little bit more heavy. Guys, make sure y'all hit that like button. I think the utilization came in a little bit more heavy when you started having that pandemic. When you had that pandemic, you had a lot of people that had a lot of time on their hands all of a sudden, and they could butter in and delve into their darkest, deepest thoughts. And they exhibited them right here online. There was chicks on OnlyFans for their first time during the pandemic. She gotta get that $200 a month, because the majority of the girls, they ain't making no more than $200 a month. This is from the statistics grabbed and the demographics grabbed right offline. You go look for yourself. The average girl on OF is only making $200 a month, risking everything. Risking everything. But the majority of this was promoted during the pandemic. It was a quick way to make money for the girls. Some of them became rich, believe it or not, during that same time period. So The question goes in the measure is this, man. I ain't worried about changing nobody, their ideology or whatever. I can care less about your ideology. If that's how you come into your ideology, that's what it is. I could care less. I really could. I ain't really been in the business ever trying to change people, how you feel or whatever. As long as it don't affect me, I can look like you give a shit. But still remains the fact of this. I can't tolerate seeing motherfuckers online, nevertheless, and they're all engaged in one particular type of doppelganger behavior, which is this. Let's see who we can get at today and then think it's funny. Then don't look at the repercussions. Let's see who we can get fired today. Let's see who we can get out the game who might employ 120, 130 employees. Let's get them out the way for what? What you got as an alternative? Who gonna hire the babies now? The white company? And see, I gotta say this for the women out there. You're putting way too much emphasis on two things and I think you're making a mistake on. And you can take it however you want to, but this is for the ladies. The ladies out there, especially black American women, have done something very unique. They have taught their children to put emphasis and only put control in two things. One, running your own business. Most businesses, I ran my own business before, most businesses fail within the first year. I was lucky enough to run mine for almost 9. 2, most women now are looking at the world through a scope of, I'm gonna go get master the hobby. Not realizing that the job market itself is dwindling because of the invention of AI and many other different things coming in and implementing the fucking game. You understand? For example, I'm gonna post something for y'all later on. In China right now, they got in some of these factories, they literally have people wearing these glasses that teach AI their job. And I don't know how they're doing it, and they're voluntarily signing up for it because it's a bonus money in it or whatever. But it's teaching AI how to mimic their jobs. And that's what's coming here. So if you're telling people, hey, I'll give you a better example. If you walk through Midtown Manhattan right now, you see all those buildings or whatever. And I remember when those buildings used to be full. I worked at 1540 Broadway. I worked up at Interscope. I worked at when we had Bad Boy Worldwide, and I worked over at Atlantic. Now, I've been through all the buildings with Bad Boy. Each one, the last one of them was a distributor at the time. You go through them buildings right now, it's only a few of them that's still standing. I think like Def Jam is still at this same location. Sony, I think, is at this same location. CBS is still at this same location. But other than that, it's a different game. You're talking about a whole bunch of empty office cubicles. Whole bunch of empty office spaces. Anybody on here want to argue with me? You want to pretend? All right, because I can't stand that shit. Niggas that got into this pretending shit. I don't know where the fuck y'all get that from. I done seen some of my best fucking rappers and people I looked up to turn into these cynical fucking, I don't know, just like slaves. Like mental slaves. And it's crazy, man. It's like, yo, are you rappers or are you a fucking vlogger? Like, which one, man? We need to get this shit in order. Ain't gonna be no money left. Ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about the vlog and shit. What y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna segue from rapping and creating music and being creatives to now being motherfucking full-time vlogger? We gonna jump out of a fucking plane with a glider? Huh? You gonna jump out of a plane with a parachute? What you gonna do? You gonna do some jackass type shit? That's gonna be your new career? Rappers? That's why I'm coming back, man. I gotta put shit. Maybe it's us. We gotta put shit in order. The niggas that didn't get their chance. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we gotta put shit in order. Cause y'all niggas are looking horrible. Niggas that sit there, hey girl, yeah, I remember what happened in 2005, girl. Let me tell you, girl, these is niggas. These is grown ass men sitting there for $2,000, $3,000 and won't tell the truth. Nigga, you surviving off that money. That's why you're sitting down so much, motherfucker. You surviving off that money. What else do you have left? The majority of them, what the fuck else? You can't create no music that nobody want to listen to. You ain't fucking entertaining. So what's the next alternative? I'm gonna sit down and gossip about niggas. Hey y'all, this is what happened in 2002. I ain't never telling nobody, but I'm gonna tell you with the exclusive. I just need $4,000 in the hotel room. You know what I'm saying? Just get me on out there. I got you. That's for whoever I'm talking about. I ain't into that tattletale shit, nigga. Like, I feel like a lot of y'all niggas, because a lot of these niggas in the rap game went to jail. All right, fuck it, I'm gonna say it. I'm a nigga that went to jail 2 times. I did 2 bids. You know what I'm saying? My first time I got caught, my bond was $250,000. That's $250,000 fucking dollars. That's how much shit I got caught with. We was out here making money. I said, we. And when I say we, I mean the crew of us. And we wasn't making $10,000, $20,000. We was making hundreds of thousands of dollars. And niggas will pay statement to that. And I'm not talking about for a year, 2 years. I'm talking about for years. Years. Niggas got a good 7-year, 8-year run. You know what I'm saying? Good 7, 8-year run. When I was locked up for damn near 2 years. Niggas were still on the run. And money had increased then. I'm talking about, it's over now. You're talking about niggas that had multiple spots, multiple states, including down south and up north. This is a fact. Ain't nobody gonna argue with me about that. And we subsequently had other niggas that we knew from other crews that had the same. We didn't even talk to niggas unless they were getting money like us. So make no mistake about it. That's when the niggas come in here and be talking about, yo, this, that, and other. Like, nigga, I was making money with niggas in the streets for real. I come from a time when it was beepers. You know what I'm saying? When niggas was standing on the corner, you ask me why I say this. Because a lot of these rappers come from the same shit. There's some real rappers that are sitting down with niggas now and they gossiping. Y'all gotta cut that shit out. Y'all wiping away y'all legacies doing all this gossiping and shit, and now getting the focal points. So start talking about these racists online and making these little moves, and y'all thinking y'all shining amongst niggas. You shining amongst niggas. You understand what I'm saying? You shining amongst niggas. That's why I have that little statement. I know that hurts the way I say it, but please hear me out. A nigga get rich, and they pull up in front of the projects, right? They got the $120,000 Lambo, but there ain't at least 3, 4 other niggas in the projects that got a Lambo. So how you think that gonna go? They shining on niggas. But to inspire a nigga is to come through that same hood and be like, yo, listen, let me put you on a plan. I got this stock, right? I'm gonna give you $20,000, put it in the stock, and you're gonna be able to get your own Lambo. Now, y'all look at it like, oh, well, that's handing a nigga something. That's your slave mentality talking to you. Because the Jews do this, the Italians do this, the Greeks do this. I can go and get any amount of shekel I need from my Jewish brothers and don't have to pay it back as a Jewish man with no interest. Like I am. I can go and I can talk to Mr. Vaco and be like, yo, listen, I need 20 grand and get it. Might be some interest with that. I can go talk to the Greeks. There's gonna be some interest with that if I was Greek. But Black Americans are the only ones that feel being a man is being as possibly mean to each other as they possibly can. Being exclusive means being as nasty as they possibly can to each other. Being a man of means being as nasty as they possibly can to each other. And it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So what am I supposed to do? I'm just supposed to sit around and let y'all fucking do it? Nah, fuck you. Shape up. Shape the fuck up, or you're gonna cease to exist. See, these behaviors, they bring upon something else too. They put a halt to procreation. They put a halt in black women and black men linking up and having more black kids. So if you're not linking up and having black kids, ladies, what happens to the population? Oh, I'm a single girl living in a single world. I pay my own bills. Oh, girl, da-da-da-da-da. Y'all bitches ain't giving no thought to the population. When you old hoes, excuse my French, when you old hoes lose them motherfucking eggs and ovaries, what happens then? Because you done taught your daughter, don't do nothing but be with a white man. Don't be with no black man, they ain't no good. All right, so how much, you're gonna wipe out the population while other populations are talking about, yo, let's increase, let's get it in. Let's have some more babies. You're playing yourself. You're playing yourself. You got Puff sitting up in jail right now. And I explained to y'all everything about motherfucking Harvey Weinstein, including how these motherfuckers sold the company at a higher profit value than they would have if they would have tried to sell it after he got convicted. I showed you that was investors that knew that this motherfucker was going on with him, and he still was able to sell the company 3 months after that happened. and he was about to get indicted. I showed y'all the moves. That ain't no different than when y'all called out Martha Stewart. Martha called up a motherfucker and said, yo, listen, Martha, your motherfucking shit about to fall. Martha called up everybody. They sent Martha Stewart's ass to jail for that shit. Martha stood tall like a motherfucker from Connecticut wood, though. Martha said, I ain't saying shit. A lot of niggas don't know Martha Stewart is the white Lil' Kim. Because Lil' Kim ain't say shit either. Salute to her. A lot of niggas talk about Kim and how she look now and everything like that. Kim a stand-up motherfucking bitch. A lot of women be out here. Well, when I was trying to be a ride or die, y'all was riding down for the wrong niggas, bitch. That's the problem. You was riding and dying for the wrong bitch. That's your fault. Riding and dying for the wrong niggas. Then want to turn around and say, I can't be a ride. No, you was a ride or die for the wrong nigga. Bitch, that nigga left dope in your house with your kids around. Understand? Go that deep, man. Go that deep. You ask, and I'm gonna say, guys, make sure y'all hit that like button. I'm gonna say if you ask 70 to 80% of Latin and black girls that had babies in the 90s, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna say the nigga was a drug dealer, he was a hustler, he was something like that. If you ask niggas from the 70s, it's gonna be the same thing. From the 80s, it's gonna be the same thing. You got generation upon generations of nothing but hoes and hustlers. I said it right, man. Hoes and hustlers. Mama was a teen mama, all kinds of shit. Grandmama at 32. What I say wrong? Niggas don't like to look at their faults. Yes, we can celebrate, but you gotta look at your faults. You don't learn nothing unless you look at your faults. And if you will not recognize or beckon with your faults, you gonna fall. You are absolutely right. These are facts. Every other culture populates the earth. So I'm saying, if your old women are saying, we don't wanna, and I don't know what's wrong with y'all, because I got a clip to put up later, and I wanna say from this black sister, what she had to finally point it out. She said, you know, there's an uptick in 10, and this is what this black woman says. I wish I could play it right now. She said, has anybody else noticed an uptick in trend of black women dating white men and getting killed? And I said, yeah, I've seen it, and I pointed it out. These motherfuckers are 57% of sexual assaults. They also are now starting to be an increase in murder. But they'll tell you that black men are the most violent. Well, if black men are the most violent, then motherfucker, you take up the other position. That's like the sun and the moon talking, one without the other. If you're 43% of the murder rate, and you're saying that blacks compensate for 45% of the murder rate, what the fuck is the difference? 2%? No, y'all on an equal playing field. Both of y'all motherfuckers crazy. That's what that means. What the fuck are you talking about here? And that's a skew of the numbers. I just showed you other numbers just a minute ago. I'll pull them up again for you. This is white men and sexual assault for those. Let me pull this up for y'all so y'all can see what I'm talking about. So you know I'm not bullshitting. Oh, I don't BS about demographics. That's one thing I don't do. Now for that, is this it? Let's see if this is it right here. Yeah, there you go. And I got a better one for you than that. Perpetrated by race. According to data from RAIN, Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, 57% of sexual assault perpetrators are white, while only 27% are black. FBI data from 2019 Uniform Crime Reporting, data indicates that 69% of, and they say it's even more, this is FBI says it's even more, says 69.8% of rape arrests were white, including Hispanic, and only 26.7%, which is skewed by only 7.7%, were African American. There's the data right there for you, for yourself, boys and girls. I had a white man try to argue that with me, and I countered him with, I said, well, you know what, I'll let you have whatever you want to have. Because he said, well, if that's the case, and blacks are only 14, that's the one they like to play. Blacks are only 14% of the population. What does that mean? That means that they're becoming more. I said, no, and I've actually got 5 different outlets to say the same thing, but I wanted to stick to those particular ones, the FBI and the place that the FBI gathers and uses for some of their demographics, and that's what they say. So maybe y'all should listen to that black sister that said maybe y'all should watch who y'all date. Now I got white and Italian friends, Greek friends, or whatever. So no, not all white men are sexual assaulters or whatever. But when I see a trend, a thread of 1,000 motherfuckers on a post talking about, see, these black men are sexually assaulters. See, these black men are da. It sounds like motherfucking 1960 out. Now, the rest of them niggas, they might fold under you. I'm not gonna fold under you. I'm gonna fight you. You understand what I'm saying? I had a gentleman today tell me, he said, from Colorado, after replying to one of these little threads or whatever, he told me, yeah, reply again so I could get your GPS and know where the fuck you are. Sir, I want to tell you something. First of all, you come this motherfucking way, I'm going to lay your ass down. I'm going to lay you down legally. He said this based off the premise that he had 3 or 4 videos of him at a shooting range. He don't know where the fuck he coming to. Let me give y'all an example here to understand clarity. The first gun ever manufactured, the whole entire United States was manufactured right up the street here at the Colt plant, which doesn't exist anymore. They tore it down, but it had been there since the 1800s. Subsequently after that, I believe it is 40 plus gun manufacturers in this state alone. Not only do we have 40 plus gun manufacturers, which you can go Google right now and go see for your goddamn self, very nice little law that accommodates that, similar to Florida's stand your ground law. That is called the Castle Doctrine. Now, some people may say, oh, well, you have this skewed or whatever, but it protects me and says, only thing I got to do is just back up from you. And if you proceed, shame on you. You show up at my house, it's even worse for you. I had a white man tell me that. And I said, I'll also guarantee you, and I want to throw this in, Connecticut has over, I think it's 120 gun ranges here. Oh, this is a gun-happy state. This is why the fucking Wilsons lived here so long. The Bush family lived here so long. And where'd they go after that? They went to another gun-happy state, Texas. You don't want to do that here. You don't want to throw those threats in. This ain't Colorado. But this just gives you an example of the type of people that are, what I'm going to do later on is I'm going to clip that for y'all and I'm going to put it up for y'all so you can see it for yourself. And you're going to see, I told them exactly what I just told y'all. They like you to be scared of them. And don't get me wrong, some of them will do something to you. But I say to President Trump, the thing that stuck out to me was he had some MAGA material put behind. He had some MAGA material. Now, MAGA don't stand for that. Who stands for that is some poor belly rednecks down there in the Bible Belt states. That's who stands for that. And that's another problem that I want to address here online real quick too. And a lot of people gonna get mad at me, but it's got to be addressed. The behavior of a lot of our Southern counterparts, and trust me, I got some of that Southern blood in me by a virtue of none of your business, but it's in my blood. Today's modern Southerner that's online nowadays seems to be an issue. So is a lot of people from the Midwest, but I ain't talking about Chicago. I'm talking about other places in the Midwest. I'm gonna tell you what I mean. I'm familiar with Southern behavior when I hear it, when I see it perplexed. So this ain't diss the Southerners, this ain't about that. Just listen to me very well. There are some people, and I'm gonna get into the Northeast because we got some in the Northeast too. But the ones in the South, because of the population and the space with it, a lot of them are trying to implement their Southern ways into Northern issues. And it don't work because we don't think the same. We don't move the same and nothing else. I saw when Pup was going through a lot of stuff, that there was a lot of people chiming in from the South. And I said, well, why are you tuning in from the South? You wasn't even in New York to see any of this stuff transpire. You wasn't in New York during these times when the music was going on or whatever. And they would make up these lies and say, well, you know what that means? They would always put, that means that They would come to these weird, like, presumptive conclusions. And I'm noticing a lot of people that are from down south, they seem to have this behavior, especially the men. Believe it or not, you thought I would say the women, but now the men. The men down south are some of the most gossipy motherfuckers I've ever met in my life and I've seen online. I mean, some of these guys, they get on there, like I've seen them too, just like I pointed out the other ones with, posting up stuff and editing it and making it look a certain way and then throwing a title behind it and say, hey, this is what it is. And it's not, that's what it is. The Southerners do that too. They do it a lot, especially the dudes. And then they'll be key. I'm like, you don't know, like, if that post could destroy somebody's life. And I'll give you an example. As I'm watching all this stuff with Offset unfold and also with Gucci Mane, I'm noticing all these so-called men online talking about, I can tell you, girl. I got the answers, girl. I know what happened, girl. Do you, girl? The fucking fucks. I know what happened, girl. Oh, girl, let me tell you, girl. Now give me that $2,000. It's fucking pathetic. I'm like, this is what the guys down south are doing now? I don't remember guys that was down south. I know some stand-up dudes down south. They don't move like that. They don't move like that at all. A lot of niggas are sitting up here, they calling Gucci a snitch and all that stuff or whatever. Let me tell you goddamn something, right? I don't care how tough you fucking are. Even John Gotti himself was questioned by the federal government. Anastasia was questioned by the federal government. Al Capone was questioned by the federal government. Jesus Christ, some of your best gangsters that lived in real life, not in the movies, but in real life, have been questioned by the federal government. If you were in a deposition like Kanye was, Lil Wayne has been, or whatever the case may be, if you don't want to be in fear of getting arrested yourself, because sometimes they hold you in contempt for that, you better answer what that white man asked you. That's what really happened. And any nigga that really been down in the pen before know that. And the nigga that ain't been in the pen like that only been a central booking or something like that, they don't always the one that's screaming, Gucci snitched. That nigga ain't particularly snitched. That nigga told what happened with him. You understand what I'm saying? You're a victim of a crime. Same thing with Offset. You're a victim of a crime. They're going to expect you to say something. Now, if you don't believe me, get in the same situation. They're going to ask the same shit of you. So it's a difference between voluntarily giving information and it's a difference in being a victim of and being a victim of a crime, and it's another one when you forced to give information on the investigation. And that's what you had. You had a preliminary investigation of a gentleman that got shot. Now, if you ever been around shit like this, you know that's how I go. I'm like, these niggas ain't never been arrested before. Because let me tell you something, me and my niggas, like, well, I didn't. Luckily, and that's one of the lucky things about me being locked up. I didn't get part in that. But my niggas, they got brought under a motherfucking RICO joint. When I tell you, me and my peoples made the paper more than enough times, we did. I tell no lies. I don't know too many people that will disagree with that. We were the real fucking deal. You know what I'm saying? We were the real fucking deal. And I can tell you, man, they bring you down there, whatever, depending on what, whatever you used to. You gonna fold under that question, Gucci has a thing with him. Guys, make sure y'all hit that like button. Gucci has a thing with him. I'm gonna say this. I've heard of the Gucci man for years now. Gucci has a thing with him. I think it goes back to Jesus Christ, maybe like 2008 or something like that. But Gucci man actually had to shoot two people that broke into his house. And then they questioned him. They put him under investigation. Look up that story. People don't talk about that. And it's hard. Gucci's a snitch. That nigga shot, killed two people. They can leave that nigga alone. These niggas be just making up shit, but ain't paying attention to the racists, ain't paying attention to niggas' plot. This niggas out here talking about, yo, we should go up and start shooting and plucking at niggas. I'm watching videos. I saw academics post something with some nigga that was drunk, this black nigga in Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? It looked like Manhattan. It might have been Boston. I might be wrong. He beat up this black dude, but black dude was kind of asking for it, but they try to super polarize it. You gotta watch for niggas like that too. I ain't saying DJ academics is a problem, just saying watch for niggas doing shit like that. Niggas be out here like posting up shit with white boy victories and shit. I'd be like, nigga, don't post that shit. And ain't none of the black niggas there help them. So much for that FBA shit, right? All the black niggas was like, no, chill. I should have jumped that nigga. White boy did whoop up on him. No, I'm gonna give it to him. White boy roped up on him, but you should have jumped that nigga. For real. Now that gives niggas, and when you post shit like that, that gives niggas the incentive that they can come to the town and be like, everything is all right. Listen, man, you did that in Manhattan. Don't do that again, homeboy. These niggas will kill you down there. Ain't nobody in 2026 fighting with hands. That's why I said, motherfuckers come to New York, they pick and play where they want to play at. In front of the courthouse, want to play in Midtown Manhattan or whatever. Come on down to the Bronx and do that shit. That's all. Come on over to Intervale, do that. Come on over to Castle Hill, do all that shit. The Gun Hill. Come on over there, do all that hot shit you talk about. Hey, look, I got the camera out. It was the same thing with Sneeko. I saw that shit with Sneeko. Nigga was about to tear Sneeko's ass up, Dominican nigga, on camera because he was filming him and his girl arguing at the CVS. I know where that CVS is. That's down there by 34th Street. Y'all ain't see that clip? I was gonna post it, but I said I ain't got nothing with Sneeko. I ain't gonna post that. Now you get down into the digs, nigga, you ain't gonna be out with no camera. You walk down the block in Brooklyn with a camera out and the camera crew, niggas gonna be like, yo, nigga, who the fuck you with? Walk through East New York with a camera. Walk through Coney Island with a camera. Niggas don't know you over there. You get washed. For real, this ain't no speculative shit either. All that is saying that it didn't happen to me in Manhattan. That's Manhattan. That's Midtown Manhattan, where the biggest precinct in New York City is at. And that nigga was a sucker because he wasn't hanging nowhere. Shit crazy, man. I'm trying to get y'all in gear, man, because there's a whole bunch of shit going on. Whole bunch of shit going on. Give me 1 second, y'all. I saw this other video where this guy, he happens to be a neo-Nazi supporter, but claims to be MAGA. I saw when he was at a coffee shop in New York, and somebody called him out. I said, why the fuck this nigga in New York for? Or they going over there to try to see Trump. Ever since Trump got back in the White House, there's been a lot of racists that have been pouring into New York, a whole bunch of goofy ass niggas pouring into New York too. That niggas didn't handle that. I will put you together like I once have, but don't none of y'all seem interested. Y'all just want to get plowed over, it looks like. So I'm like, well, you know, my skills at putting people together ain't needed here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm very good at putting people together. You don't know? Listen, let me give you an example. I make no shame out of it. During the pandemic, I was fucked up, right? And I've got a witness to this. I've actually got 4 witnesses to this. This is how good I am putting people together. During the pandemic, I was fucked up for a minute. I was in a homeless shelter in New York City. It was a little shortly before that or whatever. Some shit that went awry with me, whatever. It is what it is. It's documented here on my page, so I ain't embarrassed. You know what I mean? And I remember in the shelter, the shit was just like being on Rikers Island, to be honest with you. It was like being in the prison. Any nigga that ever been in the New York City shelters, they'll vouch for the same thing. It's like being in the prisons. It's like all the shit that would happen in the prisons happening there, but without monitors, without niggas being able to quickly break it up and shit like that. I saw a nigga get jumped in the corner and not one nigga helped him, and they heard this nigga getting belted up. You understand what I'm saying? I see niggas catch a nigga. They say, yo, as soon as you walk out that door, son, we gonna get you, and chase that nigga. So I use my organization skills. I said, I need to put me together a little crew there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what me and my man, Bishmay, that's what we did. We put together a little crew. You know what I'm saying? A little nigga from East Harlem. That's like one of my little brothers right there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bishmay Allah. You heard? That's my nigga right there. Bishmay one time, you know what I'm saying? He had to bring the uwap from Harlem. He's like, yo, D, don't worry. That's how he used to talk. He said, yo, D, don't worry, but I got the hammer on me right now. I was like, yo, you wild. He was like, yo, you think I'll play it? Nigga opened the bag. He had the hammer with him the whole night. We had the spot to sleep at and shit and everything. You know what I'm saying? That was my little man. So we had to put together a crew. And it was this other nigga we had from, he was from Memphis. He had came up to New York from Memphis, believe it or not. And there was the other nigga from Brooklyn. He was a little Crip nigga. I ain't no Crip with no blood, but he was a little Crip nigga, but he was cool as fuck though. You know what I'm saying? And we had another little nigga with us too. I forgot what his name was. I never saw him again, but we had like 6 niggas. So wasn't nobody fucking with us. You know what I'm saying? Like they would see us together. They'd be like, damn man, we fight with them niggas. We gotta fight all of them. Nobody tested nobody. You You know what I mean? And that's where it stood. So I'm always been good at putting niggas together. I learned from some of the best niggas that put me on. You know what I'm saying? To keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? I was a soldier before. Ain't nothing wrong with being a soldier. If you start out in the army, you were a soldier. And you work your way up to being general. That's how that go. Niggas want to jump in the game and be general already. It don't work like that. Don't work like that. You gotta put in work. And if you think it worked like that, you'll notice very quickly, most of the niggas that call themselves bosses nowadays, they be going at 10 to 20, under 10 years. 5 years, most of them. I see chicks out here because I'm a boss bitch. You don't hear nothing about this bitch 3 years later. Do you? Pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Most of these chicks will be like, I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss nigga. You get a 3-year run nowadays. You used to get a 10-year run if you was real good, at least. Now you get a 3-year run. I'm talking about all kinds of shit, but you know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be too many, ain't gonna never be no more Kanye's, ain't gonna never be no more J's, ain't gonna never be no more stories of Baby, ain't gonna never be no stories like Master P and none of them niggas ever again. They won't even be a matriculation of those stories, because it's not space for them no more. You know what I mean? It's a fact. That's why I salute a lot of niggas out here, man. They're still putting in the grind, still putting in the pack. I'm coming back. I wrote some shit today. Man, listen, first lyrics go like this. First of all, I won't do business with none of y'all niggas. Each and every last one of y'all, say fuck y'all niggas. We gonna get up on a high horse, tall horse, like shit crazy. Like, I ain't gonna do all that, but long story short, you on your high horse. You on your high horse, but ain't spending bread with niggas. Top 12 figure, you say you was really that nigga. Come to find out, oh boy really ain't that nigga. And we gonna come back with some sweet shit, but the point I'm getting at is, guys, make sure y'all hit that like button. The point I'm getting at is here, you got a lot of these guys that are out here now, they're not representing the way they supposed to, not demonstrating the way they supposed to. You know what I'm saying? The OGs is lacking right now. So what y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? I'm hoping that the presence of Puff possibly coming home will enlighten y'all niggas. I'm hoping with the presence of Puff possibly coming home will invigorate y'all niggas. I'm hoping with the presence of Puff possibly coming home, it will ignite y'all niggas. Y'all niggas is looking real crazy right now, bro. Y'all letting kids run the game. Kids. I take it over what DJ Academic said the other night. He said, yo, you might as well stall them out. He said, if you an OG nigga, you do real music, then stall the game out, because there ain't no competition. He said, you wasting your time if you come out with some lyrics right now. I saw the God AZ, he's celebrating 30 years of Do or Die. Coming up, him and Mass Appeal, they throwing out an album. Shout out to them. I heard the single. I don't like that single, but I know y'all got some shit coming. I fuck with AZ. I done fucked with AZ on his continuing passages and Bible scriptures from the years folk. No, fuck niggas is talking about. AZ one of the gods. Shout out to Brooklyn, man. I need AZ on one of my projects if I can get him one day, but that's a dream shit I want to see. I want to see an AZ and motherfucking Nas album. I don't know where his contractual agreements are, but I need to see that. I need to see that. Nas the one that got me started rapping. Everybody know that about me. I never met Nas a day in my life either. And that's my only regret. I never met Nas. But I'm telling you, that's the nigga that got me rapping. That was the first nigga I listened to. The first time I really got heavy into this shit really was when I was in prison and like the niggas played the One Love video in the day room. That's my fact. Like I was with my homie Shanti, all the nigga Wolfie, this wild ass Puerto Rican nigga who's in the day room listening to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas in their browns and the gray tee, sweatshirts and all that, just like this, yo. Two-stepping in the day room and all that, you know what I mean? These are facts. These are facts. So yeah, man, Nas my inspiration. I always got to say that. Even though I don't like some of the shit, Sean is one of my inspirations. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Poe, all that. You know what I mean? A lot of people heard me mention that way before anything. Just need the OGs get out here and start talking again. I know a lot of y'all ain't into the conversation I'm talking about, and that's all right. Like I said, first of all, I ain't doing business with none of y'all niggas. These niggas ain't gonna help me anyway. I learned that before. Like I said, That's the last time you ever see me down to the fucking courthouse for a nigga with this puff shit. That's it. I ain't never doing that shit again. Unless it's one of my, you know what I'm saying? Puff family, so it's different, but you ain't gonna never see me down to the courthouse again for a nigga. Nigga, a lot of niggas, most niggas don't even appreciate it more. You know what I'm saying? Like, most niggas look at it like, and I gotta be honest with you, they look at it like, well, that nigga came down there and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, some niggas look at it like that. It's a real nigga for doing that. And that's cool either way it go, whatever, but I think it's just, you know, put myself on. You know what I'm saying? That's it, man. Ain't nobody gonna help me out like they help these bitches out, give them $40,000 for like they did Rhoda Osmond. Somebody hit me with a brick. Look at that bitch, $40,000, and she lied and went to prison. Black community came out to help her. I'm just saying, what I say wrong? Or how about Kylie said she saw the baby on the highway. They gave her $40,000. What happened? She got convicted. Black community puts their emphasis on giving money to people that don't deserve it. And especially they have an affliction with giving money to bitches for some reason or another. I don't know what that's about. Nigga, there's a sister in distress. Let's give her some money. But you can see I could go live here day after day after day. I will not receive one cash app for nobody black whatsoever. So I don't really be worried about that shit as far as like that culture shit is fake. You know what I'm saying? Or we got picks. We only donate to bitches and we only donate to niggas that's talking that nigga shit. I don't think shit. I'm telling you the shit you nigga shit y'all done tried for almost 50 years and that shit don't work. So I'm shit that do work, and the shit that do work is y'all got to start countering these niggas with facts, graphics, shit like that. Y'all trying to counter them with, we were kings and all that. White folks don't care about that shit, bro. I'm trying to tell you. And somebody need to tell y'all need to get a better grip. Niggas trying to argue white supremacists online, and it'd be the weakest of arguments. Well, we were in Africa and in Kemet and all this. Most of them motherfuckers y'all argue with don't give a fuck. No Kemet, he just told you don't like niggas, so why you gonna point to where niggas come from? Like, you know what I'm saying? He don't like niggas, so you gonna point him to the this is a representation. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is a thinking pattern of these motherfuckers. You're not listening to me. You can't impress a white man. They don't give a fuck about that, my nigga. So it is what it is. Anyway, man, I just want to have that little briefing with y'all, talk to y'all for a minute, you know what I mean? That, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I like kicking it with y'all. I know y'all don't give a fuck. I ain't gonna get no donations from it. I don't even know why I came on here and said that shit. But my soul told me to say, I said, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta go with God. Change my path. I'm trying to be a little less violent. I caught myself today. I was about to be violent, and you know what I'm saying? I reacted like a gentleman. So I'm proud of me for that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to be a little bit more coarse and listening to y'all, whatever. But make no mistake about it, America don't give a fuck about me. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? But don't ever sit in my face and tell me, oh, he don't like the black people when I didn't just. I done put black people in positions and meet people they never would have met. Never would have met. And I always got spit for it, or a nigga fronting on me about it or something like that. I'm raining. You know what I mean? And it's always been the temple of that. So I don't be worried. Whatever. I'd rather, hold on one second. I just want to say this before I get off of here. Y'all do what y'all want to do. You know what I'm saying? About the info. If y'all take the info and do something with it, y'all take it and do something with it. If you don't, that's on you too. But make no mistake about it. My new position in life, and I gotta be like, I know financially, because somebody asked me why I said this shit on my last live when I was giving lessons. I said that. I've had black American people create terrible narratives about me. I've had black American people say terrible things about me. I've had black people go in the membership-only zones and conduct whole joints about me. They didn't think I was gonna get somebody to send me the link. I got a nigga in there that don't know me from a hole about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know me from a hole in the wall, live on another coast, talking shit about me. And I'm like, wow, niggas believe this? And believe it because the sensationalism, the drama, and the trauma mean more to them than anything. That's why you get a nigga to agree with that shit or snap with that shit. So yeah, That was one thing for me, and I went on with that for like 3 years. I ain't complaining or nothing, because like I said, I don't want nothing from you. You ain't gonna give me nothing anyway. So you know what I'm saying? It don't matter. That's why I don't never shout out my Cash App like that or nothing. I just leave it up on the screen. But I had some black people do some horrible things to me, and the only thing I try to do is show black, and that just don't work for me. It's never worked for me. I've always been looked at as different. You know what I'm saying? Amongst that community, whether it's because I speak Spanish, I've always been looked at different in that community. So it ain't no surprise to me at all. You know what I'm saying? I just know I ain't got no allies in that as I'm getting older and be like, all right, I gotta do this on my own. You know what I mean? And I can't look, you know, that's why I tell people, don't call me brother. I'm not if I was your brother, you want to make sure that your brother was all right. You want to make sure that your brother was papered up, just like y'all give broads $40,000 when they say they get hit with a brick. You know what I'm saying? Somalian. Wasn't she Somalian? Y'all, I thought y'all said no tethers, but y'all giving this woman $40,000 and she later get convicted. Shit crazy to me. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't hate y'all or nothing like that. I'm not gonna join on no panels with no white folks and talk down about African Americans and nothing like that. They're not friends of mine. You know what I'm saying? And that's just apparent. So I don't sit here and pretend. I think I done gave motherfuckers more than enough chances, and that's what it is. So I say ain't no hate. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna still come here and speak about what's right. As y'all saw tonight, I spoke up for y'all. Ain't no incentive for me speaking up for y'all. Anyway, because it was the right thing to do, and it might be something in the near future that affects my child or affects your child or niece and nephew, and all. We always got to make sure that the baby, you understand? I don't give a fuck how I'm bickering with y'all. The kids ain't got nothing to do with it, you know? So that's my stance on that right there. So yeah, when you ask me personally, do I hate African Americans or something like that, what seems to be the narrative on here? Nah, I don't hate you, but you definitely made a decision that you don't like me. Collectively. Man, y'all don't know the shit I went through. Like, even the Diddy trial, right? I had 3 motherfuckers, I swear to God, I'm walking over here so that usually don't pick up. I swear to God to you, I had like 3, 4 motherfuckers, right? Swear to God to you, this is true. I had like 3, 4 motherfuckers literally start lives talking about me. And one of them was like, yeah, Davin Lewis is down there, and you know he used to be part of Bad Boy, and he's probably down there because Puff said it down there, and the blah, 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 blah. And don't donate to him, girl. And this was women that I don't know. This is what they was doing, for real. And you saw 2 or 3 niggas jumped out of here because they probably was with that bullshit. You and try to deduce you and tell you, oh, you shouldn't talk about that. No. They got all these little mammies out here nowadays to tell niggas what they supposed to be talking about, what they ain't supposed to be talking about. Yo, fuck your mother. How about that? Fuck your mother. Don't you ever in your fucking life tell me what the fuck I can talk about on my page. I talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. I can't stand when a motherfucker do that. Come on your page like they your auntie and shit. You got grown ass niggas out here talking like they your auntie and shit. You can't say that. You not my relative. You not my family. You not my fucking friend. Now don't come on my page, especially when you ain't giving up no bread. Tell me about what the fuck I can talk about, what I can't talk about. That shit is not happening, dog. Niggas be coming on, commenting on my page, and the nigga stay with his bitch. Niggas come on my page trolling or whatever. Nigga, you living in the basement of your mom's house. You ain't never had your own address. Nigga 40-something plus years old, still living off bitches slinging D. I know the type of niggas y'all are. Don't come on my page doing that shit, and that's what you get. You get a bitch on the 5th floor of the projects, gotta walk through a puddle of piss to get to an apartment. Online talking about who getting money, who ain't getting money. Bitch, everybody getting money except for you evidently. You live on the 5th floor of the projects. This is shit we deal with when you dealing with black blogging spheres or whatever. They like destruction, B. So I ain't the bringer of destruction and terror or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Maybe y'all the demons and God is protecting me. I don't know. You never know. Shit like that happens. And it ain't gonna be the first time in history people thought they were saints and they were really demons. Need an example? The Crusades. Pope Constantine thought he was a saint. Dante's Inferno epically depicts this. I don't know. Anyway, All right, let me get up off of here. I think my time is done or whatever. But I just, like I said, that if y'all wondering why I say the shit I say about black people, because every time that I've been on here, something goes awry. It's always some black person behind it, and it's just crazy to me. I'm like, they spend more time trying to bomb on the people that look just like them than they bomb on white people. You notice, ain't one nigga come in here, and I want y'all to notice this. The whole time I was doing this live, ain't one black person come in here and say, yo, I agree or something like that. No, their job is to sit back and troll other niggas, or sit back and act like they phantoms and don't involve themselves in the conversation. And I just want to say, if you'll sit back and watch a nigga and won't involve yourself in the conversation on a daily basis, I look at you as a predator. That's predator behavior. That's predator behavior. I don't like predators. You're here watching me every day, you say, oh, well, son don't deserve no financial support. Only the bitches do. Be very weary of men, and I was told this a long time about real G to get women. Be very weary of men that put heavy emphasis on women all the time. Those are the most dangerous men you will ever meet in your life. Any nigga that's always worried about what's going on with a bitch, that's a nigga that's dangerous, trust me. Everything that nigga patting his shit under, every move that nigga make is for the bitches. That's it. That nigga live his whole life for bitches. I ain't never, ever, ever in my life, yeah, stop raining. I ain't never in my life been a nigga, and you can ask anybody that know me this shit. I ain't never been the type of nigga that let me because I always had my own. So I ain't never, ever, I just told y'all to y'all face, I had one little period where I was fucked up, and that was like 5 years ago. Before then, it's always been condos by the beach, whatever. You get mad all you want to. I'm telling you the truth. And there's niggas that'll testify to this. You know what I'm saying? There's chicks that'll testify to this. I moved chicks in with me. Factory. I done took care of bitches. Like, you know what I'm saying? This ain't no joke. This ain't no game. This is real. So when I hear niggas in here and they ain't got nothing to say, when we be talking about these scriptures right here, talking about the plans and plots, the niggas online, damn, I could have caught that up there. The points and plots that people put online or whatever, y'all niggas ain't got nothing to say about it. It seems like to me, like, there's a lot of fronting and stunting that's going on online right now. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. I appreciate it. It seems like there's a whole bunch of fronting and stunting going on online for no reason. So do y'all niggas really believe in this shit, or y'all just fronting? Because it seems like y'all fronting. Because I come from niggas that, I don't know, man. When niggas talk all that pro-black shit, they really mean that shit. They in the streets. I took these niggas to Allah School of Mecca. Like, I done took these niggas on some real blackity black shit that they should be proud of. And they just like, nah, we ain't donate, we ain't support. But if I was in the other blogger, and then I noticed this too, right? I gotta say this. I noticed this too, right? The more, if you're a woman, the more you talk like a mammy sitting on the porch making pancakes in 1845, the more you sound like that, and if you're a woman, you talking this connotation of this octave, Lord, child, girl, let me tell you what happened. It's a mess, girl. It's a mess. That's a southern shit. That's how it's implemented the internet. Women up north don't talk like that. Ooh, child, And there's some of these women up north that are online, they didn't start implementing the ways of these bitches. The shit is crazy. Game fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Don't start copying them bitches, like for real. I ain't saying all women down south like that either, but the biggest faces and the biggest voices that talk like that, I mean, that's their oral dissertation right there. Ooh, child, ooh, Lord. Back 20 years in the game, 30 years in the game, those are the type of women my mother stood away from. Bring that bitch around me, that gossiping ass bitch. You watch the movie Boys in the Hood. There's this one part with Lawrence Fishburne, Trey bringing him a plate of food over that Brenda made. That's Ice Cube's mom in the movie. And he says, she still make a hell of a barbecue. She'd be all right if she ain't talk so much. Black people used to shame people that gossip. Now they want to be the first motherfuckers that's involved. You don't believe me? Ask your great-grandma, for most of y'all. Ask your great-grandma if black people used to shame people that was gossiping. Now that's all y'all do. So that's why I said most of this gossiping shit and this making up stories on people and shit, it seemed to be just coming from the South and the Midwest. That's all I'm saying. I ain't dissing them. I'm just saying. I'm saying what I see. You heard? Short. Anyway, guys, let me get up off of here because I ain't reaching nobody on here. These is niggas. Niggas want to see destruction. What do I'm on here talking? Let me put this shit on pause, matter of fact. These is niggas on here. Niggas don't want to see nothing but destruction. Niggas don't want to hear about none of this shit I'm talking about. But mark my words on this. One day, you'll come to appreciate and understand he was trying to help us the whole fucking time. Just like y'all did Kanye.